will be your host for today. We welcome you to the first virtual symposium of the Greek Scientists Society. Although we may be far away from each other because of the pandemic, due to the advancements of technology, we made it here today, connecting from every corner of the globe. Discover the way a Greek scientific paradigm may evolve for the post-COVID era is the title of our virtual symposium, which has the honor to host esteemed panelists from the academia, the industry, and the public domain. We're grateful and honored to have here with us today the Minister of State and Digital Governance of Greece, Mr. Kyriakos Pierakakis, the Deputy Minister of Development and Investments, Mr. Chrousos, the Deputy Minister of Research, Innovation and Digital Policy of Cyprus, Mr. Kyriakos Kokkinos, and of course, a distinguished and very, very skillful and talented lady who's made Greece proud many times, Mrs. Anna Diamantopoulou, President of Diktio and former EU Commissioner. Of course, none of this would have been possible, nothing would have taken place if it weren't for the initiative and the restless Greek spirit of the founder of the Greek Scientists Society, Mr. Theos Zakaris. Theo, I would like you to join me on stage today because we are ready to hear your speech. I am sure that you have worked hard for this symposium to take place. And I am sure that all of our guests and our attendees here from every corner of the globe are waiting to hear you. Theo Zakaris, ladies and gentlemen. Theo, you are with us. Good morning.
Morning, Paula. Thank you so much for your kind words. Just a week away of the upcoming celebration from the 200 years since the outbreak of the Greek Revolution of 1821, the War of Independence, the Society of the Greek Scientists wishes to contribute to a swift transformation to what is called the new normal, towards a new economy. We wish to move forward by taking advantage of the heritage of the ancient Greek thinking on how can assist us to confront the complex issue of the post-COVID-19 era, like ethical issues, privacy, who controls and who has access to technologies, to avoid inequalities, and many more. Greece, Cyprus, and Greek scientists could excel in these global discussions with the aim to evolve a distinct Greek scientific paradigm to help develop a dynamic ecosystem where Greek, but not only, scientists will research, innovate, and grow their ventures. So in 10 years, Greece together with Cyprus to be one of the best, if not the best, emerging ecosystem of startups. Greek scientists also wish to assist the Greek and Cypriot societies to enter the new era through citizen science by explaining scientific benefits and risks of the advancements in scientific research to the public, and so to improve our scientific community's capacity, as well as to increase the people's understanding of science. Let me please say a few words about the Greek Scientist Society. Greek Scientist Society is a global network of Greek and Cypriot scientists. We believe that science and technology are the fundamental drivers that bring humanity social and economic improvement, leading to knowledge-based communities and networks that prosper in the international landscape. We are tremendously happy to have over 3,550 members in 3.5 months in our LinkedIn group, where you are cordially invited if you haven't joined us yet. We built the Greek Scientist Society in a way to connect all Greeks in Greece, Cyprus, and abroad, promoting our ecosystem and support a thriving startup community. We wish to promote discovery through scientific research, train scientists for the future, build international networks for the participation of Greece and Cyprus in global science, promote scientists' entrepreneurship. Our mission is to build knowledge and capacities through scientific research and the training of young investigators in other disciplines and concepts like entrepreneurship, IP, law, AI, finance, whatever. We wish to miss our mission to build a global network of Greeks through innovative programs of collaboration between Greeks of Greek descent scientists and entrepreneurs. To build value by developing technologies and products that serves the needs of the society. To cultivate and promote the Hellenic ecosystem in the international environment. So we wish to bridge and become the catalyst, joining forces between our diasporae, Greece and Cyprus soft powers, and to leverage the best quality of each part in order to transfer knowledge, facilitate scientific ventures, develop scientific collaborations and synergies. In the very near future, we are going to have our platform online, so please keep tuned to learn more about our developments. In our symposium, we are delighted and very much honored to have an outstanding lineup of speakers that I wish to express our gratitude to all of them, and of course, all of you that you have joined us today, we will graciously welcome you. Paula, the floor back to you. Thank you.
Of course, technology-wise, we're still learning, allow me to say. Well, thank you, Theo, and good luck, of course, to all of our panelists. And as I said, today is indeed a day of pride for the Greek nation, for the Hellenes around the globe. I have the honor to have with me here on stage esteemed and distinguished scientists that lead by excellence. But before that, let's watch a short video, and I am going to reveal to you who is going to be the first speaker with us today. A beautiful video, ladies and gentlemen, indeed. Let Greece make the new paradigm. Let Greece set the paradigm as it has been happening for so many thousands of years. And I'm very happy to see this synergy and collaboration between Cyprus and Greece as well. With us right now, I have the honor to have with me one of the world's most well-known medical clinical researchers, the chair of the Greek Scientists Society, as well as chair of UNESCO Adolescent Committee, professor of pediatrics and endocrinology emeritus and at the Medical School of the National and Kapodistrian University of Athens, Professor George Chrousos. Professor, we're here waiting for you to join us. I'm sure that the audience is very much interested and eager to watch your presentation, to listen to your intervention, and to see and learn what you have to say. Professor Chrousos is with us right now. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning, and thank you very much for the invitation and for the introduction. And good day to all of our attendants.
It's our honor to have you. The stage is yours, Professor.
Thank you. So let me present to you the ancient Greek philosophy principles in the post-COVID era. My lecture has 4 very brief parts. First, I'll give you a brief introduction. Then I will present the fundamental Greek medical concepts. I'll talk a little bit about the Library of Alexandria and Western medicine. And finally, I'll give you the modern epilogue. Sophocles had written that there are many wonderful things and nothing is more wonderful than the human. If you take the word wonderful and put complex, you will be correct. There is nothing more complex than the human in the known universe. Why are we so complex? Number one, we have very complex cells. We have 3 billion bases of DNA inside our cells. We have about 44,000 genes. And we have over 1 million regulatory regions in that DNA, which means that just a human cell is extremely complex. We also have very complex brain. I was telling that we have about 100 billion neurons. And if we, on the average, we have about 10,000 synapses per neuron, we have over 10 to the 18th power synapses in one human brain. This number is 3 times the number of stars in our galaxy. And here is a curve showing the increase in complexity in our universe, which, as you know, started about 14.5 billion years ago with a Big Bang. And then gradually it formed galaxies, stars, etc. And right now we are at the peak, and the peak is human society. Humans and their civilization is the most complex system that we know. Now, what are the fundamental Greek medical concepts? Number one, working with reason. Socrates had written that nothing else convinces me but the logos, but the reason. And the first person to discuss about complexity in the Western world was Pythagoras in the 6th century BCE. Pythagoras said that the universe, the world, is in a balance. This balance may be threatened on one side and may be reestablished on the other side. And that's a constant phenomenon, dynamic phenomenon. His student Alcmaeon said humans are similar. They are in a certain balance, which he called isonomia. This balance can be threatened. We call that now stressors. And it's been returned by the adaptive response. Interestingly, the Chinese similarly had discussed qi as the balance, yin on one side and yang on the other side. Now, all the terms that we use nowadays for this balance of complex systems are Greek, like harmony, isonomia by Alcmaeon, eucrasia by Hippocrates, eustathia or eustasis by Epicurus, and finally, homeostasis, which is in the beginning of the past century, of the last century, by Walter Cannon. And it's a Greek word, homeostasis, same balance. So what stress is in all of this complex system is the state of threatened homeostasis. And in us humans, because we can perceive when our homeostasis is threatened, is the case of perceived threatened homeostasis. Western medicine started in 2 medical schools. One is in Kos, the Hippocratic Medical School, and the other is across in Knidos. In these medical schools, they used Hippocratic principles. Hippocrates had suggested that medicine is divided into 3 branches: physics, meaning internal medicine, surgery, and dietetics. The word physician comes from this idea that medicine is studying the nature of man, physics. Now, when the ancients talked about dietetics, they meant way of life. So diet in ancient Greece was what we today call lifestyle. Diet included generally anything related to nutrition, exercise, clothing, and housing. Hippocrates had said that let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. In this way, emphasizing the power of nutrition. Also, Hippocrates had suggested to physicians, to his students, Do not base your decision on reason alone. Look at the evidence. So this is the beginning of evidence-based medicine. Aristotle had written that man consists of three components, three constituents: physis, nature; ethos, environment; and logos, reason. The term epigenetics is an Aristotelian term. Genetics was used in some form by Plato and epigenetics by Aristotle. Now, here's the history of Western medicine as we understand it today. It started with ancient Greek medicine before 500 BCE with Asclepia, the healing places. There were over 400 of these places around the Mediterranean basin. Then we have classic Greek medicine, which is evidence-based medicine, lifestyle medicine, and also ethical medicine, medical ethics, the oath. Then we have Hellenistic medicine, with the center being in the Library of Alexandria. And that was called by all the Eastern cultures Unani medicine, in other words, Ionian medicine. And they still call it this, and this is the medicine that's based on reason. Now, there we have a number of fantastic researchers and physicians, such as Herophilus, Erasistratos, Galen, Areteos, Soranus, Asclepiades, etc. From that, we move to Byzantine or Eastern Roman medicine, and we have the first modern hospital in Constantinople, which was founded in 430 Common Era. Then we have the development of modern medicine until today. There were influences by Persian, Arabic, Judaic, and Armenian medicine, and more recently, Indian, Ayurvedic, Chinese medicine, and acupuncture, and also the development of Unani medicine in the East. And right now, we're talking about integrative medicine or holistic medicine, and narrative and precision medicine, which means we know everything about the patient and we know in detail the defect that causes the pathology. P4 medicines, predictive, personalized, preventive, and participatory medicine. So you can see how medicine evolved from Hippocratic medicine. In the Hippocratic era and in all the Greek era, there was an important sacred relationship between the doctor and the patient. And you can see that clearly in the book by Asclepiades, who was an Epicurean philosopher and doctor, who said that if there is love for man, there is love for the art. And of course, if you look at the Delphi, there is this saying, "Atihoudi synaston," which means have compassion for the suffering. And we have development from empathy to sympathy, compassion, principal compassion, and that's what we use today. Compassion which is beneficial or harmless for both the caring and the cared. And here are the health concepts as they develop from ancient Greece. So from Pythagoras and Alcmaeon, let me go to Hippocrates, who said a harmonious balance of the elements and qualities of life is health, and disharmony is disease. He talked about eucrasia, good balance, dyscrasia, bad balance, and idiosyncrasy, peculiar balance to somebody. Then he also suggested that it's nature that heals the disease and the physicians just help, and that was transformed in Latin into vis medicatrix naturae. Aristotle talked about the unity of body and mind and about eudaimonia.
It is time for us to move to the first panel on whether the principles of ancient Greek philosophy can serve as guidance to answering our concerns in the post-COVID era. The moderator of the panel is Dr. Alexis Papazoglou, former lecturer at Cambridge University. Professor Chrousos, the good news is that Professor Chrousos will be part of the first panel, so we will be able to see more of his presentation and hear more of his opinion and his intervention. So let's move, let's end this session. Let's proceed to the first panel.